Hi, this is Darcy with the Darcy Board Home Team. And like we promised, we have our 3 o'clock break right now. And we're introducing you to another local amazing company called Sitka Salmon Shares. And we have Richie Mann, who is, I believe you're the director for Minnesota. Tell us your title again, Richie.
Yeah, I am. I'm the community director for Minnesota.
From
Yep.
Minnesota. Okay. So you guys are not going to want to miss on this conversation because I just found out a ton of great information about Richie and this amazing company. It's so unique, but has so much value. And I think it's the way that things are going to go down in the future, right? And
I,
so the cool thing is, he was just also sharing with me that the way they've been running their business, just like us too, they haven't been impacted, greatly by this because it's definitely a door-to-door service, and so you can do a lot of things online, and it gets delivered right to your door. And so Richie and his family and his adorable daughter, that's four ever, right?
that's
Is that
right.
ever? They live in Victoria, and he works directly with. He's going to share a little bit more with us, but he works directly with the company, and they're out of Alaska. Is that correct?
Yeah, our fishing happens in Alaska, and then we have our what we call good fish hubs across the Midwest. So that's in Illinois, here in the Twin Cities, in Madison, Wisconsin as well.
Okay. Well, I think this is such a new. We have to start from the beginning.
Yeah, there's
So
a lot.
I, so I think it's really cool. I want you to share how the company even got started. We don't
Yeah,
usually go this far back, but I would love for you to do that.
the
So
origin story, the Marvel
yeah,
origin.
there
It
you go.
is. Yeah, I'll make it really brief because yeah. So it's 10 years ago. Our president, Nick Mink, is his name. He's a professor of environmental history and sort of food chain research, understanding how our food chains work. Anyway, he started this company with a couple interns of his that went up to Alaska. They brought some of their fish back that they caught, or that the fishermen that they met there caught. And they sold it to their family and friends as a little fundraiser. And it was gangbusters. People were like, oh my gosh, where did you get this fish? Well, Alaska, this is a story. These are small boat fishermen that fish, and this is how they take care of their fish. It's an incredible process that we've since, evolved and adapted even better. And then it just kind of snowballed from there, and started doing farmers markets around the Midwest. Most of this started in Galesburg, Illinois, and then just kind of moved and grew. And we have a second headquarters in Madison, Wisconsin now. And what we developed after about 3 years is what's called a CSF, which is a community supported fishery. It's just like I was telling Darcy, it's just like a CSA, which is community supported agriculture, where you partner with a local farmer for produce and you get that every week or whatever, seasonal produce. We do the same thing, but for fish. So yeah, we're at year 10 now of a community supported fishery. We're the largest in the nation. We are about paying our fishermen a fair wage for their catch, and everything that we do is responsible, sustainable, not. And what that really means is that we don't overharvest, and we harvest by hook and line. So traditional methods, we're not netting any of our fish, and then we're processing our fish ourselves. We don't sell it to a big processing plant and then lose track of it, which is what 99% of your seafood in their store has done, or it's gone through that process. We hold on to it to the very moment we actually physically hand you the box at your door.
That's cool.
We wouldn't right now. We actually just
Right.
wave at you and we say goodbye, so we don't have to talk to each other or see
Yeah.
each other. But we do deliver it to your door, so it's really beautiful.
And now, Richie, you were informing me the difference of what wild means, right? When we always think,
Yeah,
I honestly look for that
right.
when I
You
go to the
should. It's
grocery
better.
store,
Mhm.
right? And so he was just sharing with me what that means in a commercial way, and then working with the smaller fishermen of the
Yep.
group. What do you call them? You called them something
Uh,
fisher,
uh,
fisher.
Fishermen owners.
Yep. And then did you call them fishers? Is that
Well,
a
we
name?
call them fishing. We call them fishing families. Fisher women,
Okay.
men. Fishing families is probably better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so explain that to me, even that you just kind
Yeah.
of brushed up on that about the netting, but how you guys are really trying to not change the whole environment of the ocean.
It's it's the most valuable resource, I would argue, in the world is our fisheries. And there's a lot of collapse all over the countries, all over the world, and a lot of that has to do with overfishing. Climate change is also now affecting fisheries, but what we try to do is make a distinguishing a line of delineation for people in that wild doesn't mean what it used to maybe 10 years ago. And I think the cage-free egg is a really great way to understand this. What, 12 years ago, the cage-free egg was kind of like this big marketing buzzword. Everybody's like, oh my God, are your eggs cage-free? And people are like, yeah, of course they're cage-free. I'm not a terrible person. I love my planet. And then you start looking into it and you understand that cage-free doesn't mean anything, right? It just means that the chicken isn't in a tiny little cage. They're still in hen houses. There's still all this really bad stuff that's happening. Wild's the same way. Wild really is just saying that it's coming out of the ocean, and it's not taking into consideration how it's coming out of the ocean. And how is the most important thing. 90% of your wild caught fish, whether you're fishing in or you're buying in Kowalski's or even some of your best highest end co-ops, right? These will have labels that say wild on them, but it just means it's coming out of the ocean, and 90% of that is trawled. Trawling is big giant nets dragging through the ocean, oftentimes on the bottom of the ocean, collecting everything in its path, meaning there's a thing called bycatch, which is fish you're not targeting, which are killed and not used, lots of other things. And then it's destroying that ecosystem. And more than that, maybe not more, but equal to the quality of that fish. If you can imagine being in a tube as a fish and being squished by thousands of tons of your fellow fish, you're not very tasty because you're mushed, you're suffocated, the quality is dropped dramatically. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, but that is wild fish, right? That's how people know and consume wild. It's still better across the board than a farmed salmon species would be. That's a whole nother category. What we do is I call it true wild, or it's responsible wild, responsible harvesting, where we're individually catching our fish. We're actually using hook and line. We're using jigs, downriggers, flashers, all sorts of different devices that have been used for hundreds of years. And we handle our fish individually. And then we have some really unique processes once they're on the boat to clean, gut, and then it gets back to our processing plant within 2 days, right? So these are either day boats, which are the day of, or within 2 days. Industry standard, for those that don't know, industry standard for the time you get your fish on your plate, it's about a 10 to 12 day old fish, sometimes more. That's bonkers. If you ate a 15-year or 15-day-old chicken that had been sitting raw in a fridge, it would be putrid, right? But we accept that in the Midwest, especially as, okay, we'll eat it. It's what best we can get. But we flash all of our fish down to negative 45, negative 50 degrees within about a half hour, 40 minutes. So that's like the most incredible fresh fish when you actually thaw it. There's nothing like it.
That's amazing. Well, I know this is going to be a big, this will mean a lot to a lot of people, and they're going to think of how they get their food to their table. But, with that said, we're going to go and take a peek at how they can get that fresh fish to their door.
Yeah.
And so why don't you walk us through your website here? And so this is the easiest way for them to go ahead and get to order a subscription or order. So I'm just going to go right here. And let's see.
Yeah, so these are the 4 shares that we have available. Each share is sort of a different mix of fish. There is one share that's just salmon, right? That's a Sitka salmon share. And then there's some fish or some shares that are a mix of whitefish and salmon. You'll see the starting point is $99 a month. That's based on about a 5-pound box. So you break that down, price per pound, it's about $18 to $19 a pound for that particular share. And then there's shares that go all the way up to $129, which equals to about $24 a pound. Now compare that to what you go and buy at your best of co-ops. You're paying anywhere from $18 to $27, $28 a pound for your fish, right? For your wild Alaskan quote unquote wild fish. So we're affordable. If you eat fish once or twice a month, you're saving money in a way by getting a membership.
So tell us how they go here and they add either one of these things here for depending on what size your family is.
Yep, you can do 3 different sizes. You can, and above that, you can order as much as you really want. But most people, 2 to 3 person family, that regular share is about 5 pounds. That will do you good, and then you can get more 10 or 15 pounds. And then you'll see underneath the picture, each month it then has a corresponding fish species, because we fish seasonally and we do about 21 different varieties of fish. So you don't just get salmon and call it a day. We do some incredible black cod or sablefish, which is like $36 a pound, and it's like this incredible fish. Halibut, rockfish. We do tuna and spot shrimp and dungy crab as well. So there's a lot. If you're not,
Nice.
yeah.
Richie, tell me here, how much is this a pound approximately? Did
So
you
this
say?
particular share, and this is our most popular, this is the premium share. It's about $24, $25 a pound is what it breaks down to across your entirety of your share. And this is, you're looking at an 8-month share right now.
Okay.
Next month will be a 7-month share, and the following will be a 6 month. So it's always available.
Yep. And then I know several people from Minnesota that go fly to Alaska, do the halibut fishing or salmon fishing.
Yeah.
What is that per pound when people go do that? Of
Yeah,
course, it's the experience, right? We all know it's the experience.
A whole nother chart to describe the price of that. It is, my best guess would be like $90 to $120 a pound by the time you figure out probably more. I don't know. It depends on how fancy of a hotel you're staying in.
Yeah, that adds up there. So here, okay, so we just went off your website. That website will actually be listed on the top of this post. So you can go ahead and go ahead and make your order through there. And now, do they need to do, and you said there is a discount that you're offering everyone today?
Yeah, there is. It's great. It's $25 off your first month share. And it's the code is FEAST, FEAST 25.
Okay, great. Yeah. Well, our time is almost up. I find it really interesting because you guys are the only company right now that's like this. So this is phenomenal.
Yeah.
We can visit with you directly. And then one other fun thing is, why don't you share something fun that you and your family are doing right now?
Oh, yeah. This is really great. So if you guys want some really great tips in the kitchen and what to do with your seafood, and not just seafood, we're going to do a whole bunch of stuff, but with this change in the climate, in our culture, we've moved everything virtual, meaning my job moved virtual and I switched a little bit. And so I'm now the host of a culinary in-home show in my own house that we're producing and editing here. And it's called Wild at Home. And if you like Bon Appetit videos, if you ever watch any of those, or if you just like cooking shows in general, these are like anywhere from 5 to 12 minutes long. Each week's a different episode. The second episode is dropping at 4:00 today, and it's on cod chowder. You got inside track. It's going to be cod chowder. And yeah, we just cook. We teach people about some of these recipes and how to use them.
How do they find that for you?
So you can go to YouTube, our YouTube channel, or you can go to our website and go into recipes, and you can type in butter salmon right now, and that video will pop up. But you know what? YouTube's probably the best. Go to Sitka Salmon Share's YouTube page.
Oh, it's right under that same company name.
Yeah,
okay.
Company, and go to Wild at Home. Yeah.
And we'll attach that too to this post.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. All right, Richie. Well, I really appreciate your time, and I love that you guys were able to join us this year at our expo. So it was such a fun addition. A lot of women that it was really interesting, and some people need to come back twice to be able to, really engage. But a lot of people were wanting to find out more information on you guys and you. So really appreciate your time, and have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Darcy. You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.